The Ark of Light, a modern-day Noah story. The call of purpose. In a world where darkness cloaked itself in charm and power, Noah was chosen not by men, but by a divine force. His purpose was clear: to build a sanctuary of truth, faith, and spiritual protection. Yet, in a time where spirituality had become the new currency and secret societies, witches, warlocks, and covert narcissists ruled from the shadows, his mission would not be an easy one. Noah's vision was mocked. People saw him as a fool for rejecting the world's game of influence and power. While others traded souls for wealth and status, Noah chose to build something different, an ark not of wood, but of spiritual strength and resilience. The mockery of the blind. Every day, Noah was met with laughter. "Look at the madman," they sneered, building his fortress of faith while the rest of us thrive. Witches and warlocks, disguised as spiritual gurus, laughed the loudest. They knew the power Noah carried but dismissed it as outdated. They had found ways to manipulate energy, casting spells for influence, hexes for control, and using others' life force to sustain their ambitions. Covens and secret societies operated in plain sight, disguised as corporate elites, influencers, and spiritual coaches. They played with deception, draining the naive of their energy like vampires. Noah warned them, "A reckoning is coming. You've built your kingdom on lies and stolen power. It won't last." But his words fell on deaf ears. The seduction of power. Behind the scenes, powerful forces tried to lure Noah. A covert narc named Lucien, head of a secret spiritual society, approached him. "Why struggle to build alone?" Lucien offered with a sly grin. "Join us, we can elevate you. You'll have access to wealth, influence, anything you desire. All you need to do is compromise, just a little." But Noah saw through the facade. He knew that many who accepted such deals had lost their souls. They became hollow shells, forever bound by unseen contracts with dark entities. Witches and warlocks attached to their victims' sacral and root energy, controlling their creativity and survival instincts. The silent preparation. Noah continued to build in silence. He surrounded himself with those of pure heart, people who sought truth, healing, and divine protection. Together, they practiced spiritual cleansing, grounding, and the strengthening of their inner light. The ark they built was not visible to the eye, but it was impenetrable by the forces of darkness. Each brick represented a prayer, a moment of forgiveness, a lesson in humility. While the world mocked, Noah and his community grew stronger. Meanwhile, the secret societies began to fracture. Their members, blinded by greed and envy, turned on one another. Witches who had once worked together began hexing each other out of jealousy. Warlocks who sought ultimate power fell into madness, trapped by the very spirits they summoned. The rising flood. Suddenly, the world shifted. The spiritual flood Noah had warned of began. The illusions of power and wealth crumbled. Hidden truths were exposed, corrupt leaders were unmasked, scandals erupted, and the carefully constructed facades of the occult societies collapsed. Those who had mocked Noah now faced the consequences of their choices. Their energy reserves depleted, their connections severed. They were left vulnerable. The spirits they had once controlled turned on them, demanding payment in full. Desperate, many tried to enter Noah's sanctuary. "Help us," they cried. "We see now, we were wrong." But Noah could only offer guidance, not salvation. "Your redemption lies in your own hands," he said. "You must face your darkness and release the chains you forged yourself." The New Age. As the spiritual flood receded, the world was transformed. Many who survived the collapse of the old systems sought true spirituality, not the illusion sold by witches and warlocks, but the deep, unshakable connection to the divine within. Noah became a beacon of hope, not because he had saved the world, but because he had remained faithful. His resilience inspired others to seek their own inner light, to build lives founded on truth, trust, and divine purpose. The secret societies were no more. Their power structures had disintegrated under the weight of their own deceit. Some former members sought redemption, while others faded into obscurity, unable to cope without their stolen energy. The eternal lesson. Noah's story became a legend, a cautionary tale for generations to come. It reminded the world that the greatest currency is not power, influence, or wealth, it is spiritual integrity. Trust and truth are priceless. Time spent in alignment with the divine is irreplaceable. And those who seek shortcuts through manipulation and deception will ultimately destroy themselves. The path of faith is not easy, but it is eternal. Even as darkness rises, there will always be those, like Noah, who carry the light forward. When witches and warlocks mocked him, Noah built an ark of light. In a world where spirituality became the new currency, only truth could withstand the flood.